Thank you so much. Let me start this way. FCT Command, once again, commiserate with the family of Sumi. Arise News family, entire Nigerians that are reasonably touched with this ugly incident. It was indeed a sad one, very disturbing indeed. Regarding the circumstances surrounding the incident, to set the record straight, some Udnon, armed robbers specifically, gain access into unique apartments where Sumi lives. A twin 3-story 18-flat apartment around the Girshiri end of Katampi under Mabushi divisional area. At this point in time, 2 guards were on duty, security men. These are private guard. And one of them, who had the courage to challenge, sustained a gunshot. Under this condition, you know the panic that will have resulted from this kind of environment. Sumi actually occupied an apartment on the topmost floor of the building. And out of the fear, she jumped down from that 3rd story, the top floor. The consequences is what we are seeing. It's so sad, so unfortunate.
Well, have you seen...
At last, distress call was ready to the command control room. Policemen moved to the scene. What they could see, the unconscious body of Sumi on the floor. They picked her there and then and took her to my Tama General Hospital, where the doctor on duty tried as much as possible to see whether they can resuscitate her using the CPR. It's unfortunate. He couldn't make it. And that was the story. But what are we doing at our hand here? We've set up a specific investigation team headed by the Deputy Commissioner of Police Investigation, with all the tactical components required to unravel the whole situation with a view to tracking down the culprit responsible for this dastardly act. The leads we are getting, we're already working on it. No stone will be left unturned to ensure that the perpetrators are tracked and brought to justice. And the result of the investigation will be made known to Nigeria. That is the situation for now.
In what has now become one of the darkest stories in Nigeria's media space. The nation is mourning the gruesome killing of Arise News anchor Somtochukwu Christelle Maduagu, fondly known as Sommie. Just 6 weeks before her death, the 29-year-old lawyer and journalist made a haunting post on X, formerly Twitter. She wrote, "I pray from the depth of my heart that Nigeria never happens to me or anyone I care about." But tragically, Nigeria did happen to her. On the early hours of September 29th, 2025, armed robbers stormed her residence in Katampe, Abuja. Reports say about 14 gunmen invaded the estate in panic. Sumi leapt from her home, desperately trying to escape. She survived the fall, but what followed was even more devastating. Sources reveal that when security operatives were alerted, the police reportedly said there was no fuel in their patrol vehicle. By the time they eventually responded, the damage was done. Sumi and an injured security guard were rushed to a hospital, but there she was tragically rejected. According to her colleague, Oju Ogbe, she did not die on the spot. She went to the hospital, but she was rejected. Sumi's life could have been saved, but the hospital turned her away.
Because, like she stated, Nigeria happened to her. I reached out to our correspondent in Abuja, who detailed the circumstances surrounding her death. She jumped down from her home when she heard about 14 armed robbers came to her home. And she did not die on the spot, Dr. Abati. She went to the hospital and she was rejected. And I'll tell you the name of that hospital. If you can continue with your thoughts, I'll bring out the name of that hospital, because this really is a tragic, tragic incident. Sommie's life could have been saved, but the hospital rejected her. Dr. Abati, go ahead.
Her chilling posts now feels like a prophecy fulfilled. Nigerians online are grieving, many saying they are even more heartbroken because Nigeria finally happened to her. Condolences have poured in from all corners of the nation. Arise News described her as a cherished colleague and a vibrant voice that connected with millions. Governors, ministers, colleagues, and viewers alike have called her passing a national tragedy. Governor Peter Mba of Enugu State described her as a shining light extinguished too soon. The Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, called her death a grievous loss not only to Arise but to the entire Nigerian media industry. Even the chairman of Arise and the state group, Prince Nduka Obaibada, received condolence letters from state governors describing Sommie as a rising star, a true daughter of the soil, whose voice resonated in homes and hearts across Nigeria.
And I'll just take comfort in our last conversation and all the plans that you had for your life. You're so beautiful. Inside and outside, and even in death, you were still so beautiful. I love you so much.
Sommie was my anchor for Arise America while I produced it. Just 2 Saturdays ago, I finished producing the bulletin, and she came in her confident, happy self. And she aced it. She read the news. I mean, even asking, "Oh, do we have a guest?" You know, and all of that. But we didn't have a guest. But she slayed it. You know, the entire 1-hour bulletin. We're really going to miss her. I mean, I remember her giving me a lift from work some months ago. Sommie was just such a shining light. It's sad to hear of her passing. It's so sad. I mean, she was such a shining light.
Sommie loved to wear pink. She would often remind me of Reese Witherspoon in Legally Blonde because she was a lawyer and pink was her favorite color. But aside from that, Sommie loved young girls, and one of her greatest goals in life was to empower as many young girls around the world as she could. Which is one of the reasons why she was a pageant girl. She was a very, very successful. She was very successful in the world of pageantry. And she was using her platform to empower other young girls fighting for their rights and their voices to be heard. And I met her in Abuja, and I loved her very much. She was a very sweet girl.
But beyond the tributes lies a bitter reality. A promising young woman's life was cut short, not just by robbers, but by the very system that failed her. Security lapses, slow response, and medical rejection. Her killers, police say, are now the subject of a full investigation. But Nigerians are left asking how many more shining lights must be snuffed out before justice, security, and accountability are more than just words. Somtochukwu Christel Maduagu was just 29, a lawyer, a journalist, a voice for truth, and now a victim of the very tragedy she prayed would never happen to her. May her soul rest in peace. Let's take some reactions regarding this development. Being robbed in your house is one of the scariest things ever. Aphrodite says, armed robbers enter your house, you no take money, you no take your car, went straight to your bedside, 6 feet now, you are down. Which armed robber no want money? Which armed robber no want jolly? Now political armed robber be that. Now waiting the kill Nigeria. This person clearly saying that she may have been assassinated. It's just painful. really painful. It pains to mourn vibrant and talented Nigerians at their demise, but the pain becomes severe when we lose them to avoidable incidents. The issue of insecurity is not natural and can be avoided if the government provide adequate security for the people. These parts of the symptoms of a collapsed system, and it knows no bounds and can happen to anyone. It's terrible. Rest in peace, Umto, which he says. I just hope this armed robbery attack wasn't a calculated attempt. This other one says, may her soul rest in peace. However, enough of these write up blaming the government. When will you lead a protest for better Nigeria? Enough of these ranting of yours on social media. The president himself led a protest years ago. I'm certain millions will turn up if you lead us once. Toma, to Sean, I think actually this message is directly directed at Peter Obi. Pharaoh says Nigeria is the best place to live in if you have money, and just clearly referring to this particular incident and saying that even with your money, it can still happen to you. Sunny Yusuf says this happened at the block I live in. I was the first victim to be attacked, right in the heart of Abuja, man. I don't wish anyone the things I witnessed. When I'm ready, I will share details. For now, may the souls of the departed find peace. Wow, terrible. This has actually gained over 2.1 million views. Nowhere in Abuja is safe. Everywhere is always dark. I've been complaining to my landlord to fix our security lights because the whole compound is very dark, but he wouldn't listen because we are on a band A, and he asked who's going to bear the bill. May her soul rest in peace. Insecurity in Abuja, the capital, has become unbearable and need to end. The government and administration of the FCT must ensure that this doesn't happen again. Yeah, so rest in peace. Opeyemi Adeyemi says law-abiding citizens who have the means should take getting a licensed firearm seriously. Apply, and if you pass all the checks and follow the process diligently and patiently, you will be issued a shotgun. And if, God forbid, you have to use it for self-defense, do not hesitate. Abuja is so dark in the night. Most streets and traffic lights are not working. Wicked just concentrated on the roads and forgot about other things. Aburo are everywhere harassing people on the road. They just killed a man, his wife, and the son the other day at Mabuchi. I'm so sorry to have to go through that. Stay strong. May the souls of the departed rest in peace. I gotta end here, guys. I gotta end here. This is just so unbearable and so sad. It's crazy. What do we do going forward from here? How do you think the government should react to this latest development? I'd love to hear from you as always. May she rest in the bosom of the Lord. Amen.
So, first of all, by birth, I don't have an option about the kind of woman that I want to be. I'm the first daughter of my parents, so right out of the womb, I'm a born leader, and so that's kind of at the top of my mind in any decision that I'm making. On a bigger picture, I want to be a politician. Like you mentioned, I'm from Anambra State, I'm from Anambra Central, and I'm very interested in politics. I'm very interested in impacting my state and Nigeria in general. And I moved to London at the end of my National Youth Service program, you know, like everyone does, just jackpot, trying to make some money. And I just felt very unfulfilled. I was making more money than I ever would in Nigeria, but I just felt very unfulfilled. So the kind of woman I want to be is definitely having positive impact in Nigeria. She's definitely taking up space. She's definitely not just talking about increasing female participation in politics. She's actually doing something to make that happen. And she's graceful, she's feminine, she's gorgeous, and she's fashionable.
Slays in a nutshell. She slays, but she's smart. She slays, but she's graceful. She's respectful. I love that you pointed out the necessary parts, and then at the end added, but don't get it twisted. I'm going to be looking fire while I'm at it. So first of all, that you can
absolutely, because you know they think that you can't be serious if you look fire, and we're proving them wrong, aren't we, Kachi?
We are, aren't we? Like, listen, you can slay and be intelligent and take